Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be flying for the first time in 16 months, and we'll be doing so from Southampton International Airport. After the fall of Flybe, regional airlines from around the UK have expanded operations to fill in for the loss of Flybe's routes, and all the domestic destinations that used to be flown by Flybe are now all back up and running by other airlines. The UK currently has 5 regional airlines and they all serve their own respective parts of the UK. But today we're going to be flying Scotland's national airline, LoganAir, from Southampton in England to Edinburgh in Scotland. Operations are constantly changing due to the particular demand on that day, but LoganAir are currently serving Newcastle, Glasgow, Edinburgh and Aberdeen from Southampton. Today LoganAir would be operating 6 flights. 3 morning flights to Newcastle, Edinburgh and Glasgow, and then 3 evening flights to those same 3 destinations. Check-in at Southampton would only open an hour before the flight. This is due to limited seating at the airside portion of the terminal. But as I had already checked in online and had no bags to check in, I could walk straight through security and into the airside portion of the terminal. Unlike some other countries, the UK is still taking restrictions quite seriously, and this really showed with the lack of shops open at Southampton. If you remember back to the last time I flew Blue Islands from Southampton, after security you're brought through the duty free. But today, even this was closed, and instead you're brought through a small side door straight into the main waiting area. Southampton Airport features a WH Smith's, Costa and a bar, but due to COVID none of these were open. This is in contrast to the landside portion of the terminal where the Costa is open. Despite this, the airport soon filled up as all 3 of the LoganAir ERJ-145s arrived within 15 minutes of each other from Newcastle, Glasgow and Edinburgh. Soon after that, the flights began boarding and I walked out to my aircraft for today's flight. This is Golf Sierra Alpha Juliet Delta, a 20-year-old Embraer 145 which was delivered to BMI Regional in 2001 before then being passed on to LoganAir in February 2019. The plane is painted into LoganAir's livery, however the inside of the aircraft still reps the old BMI Regional interior with the blue seats. The newer interiors feature thin black leather seats with tartan headrests to go with the airline's Scottish theme. The ERJ-145 is also a fairly unique aircraft as it's one of the only few types in the world to have an unbalanced amount of seats, as when split down the middle the plane sports a 2-aisle 1 configuration. The seats themselves, despite being old, are still pretty comfortable for this hour-long hop up to Scotland, and feature 31 inches of legroom, a seatback pocket, and a nicely sized tray table. But after both the Newcastle and Glasgow flights departed, it was then our turn to push back and taxi out to runway 20.
Pass the pegs around the waist and tie in a double knot on the left-hand side. When outside the aircraft, deflate by pulling the red toggle sharply down.
After departure, we climbed to 37,000 feet and headed north towards Scotland. Due to COVID, LoganAir require you to wear a mask at all times, and there would be no food or drink service on board today's flight. LoganAir would typically serve you a drink of your choice along with one of their iconic Scottish tea cakes, but again, this would not be served on today's flight. LoganAir serve 36 airports around the UK while serving only 5 airports internationally in Ireland, Norway and Denmark. The airline is the largest in Scotland and has a growing fleet of 35 aircraft, including 6 of the ATR 42 and 72s, 3 Twin Otters, 2 Britten Norman Islanders, 9 Saab 340s, 13 ERJ-145s, and even 4 of the rare ERJ-135s, which are simply just shorter versions of the 145s. The airline also has orders for 5 more of the ATR 42s and 3 more ATR 72s. These will be used to replace their aging fleet of Saab 340s. The airline was founded in 1962 but never expanded with huge growth, due to other airlines like BMI, British Airways and Flybe getting in the way. The airlines had multiple contracts signed over the years to operate flights on board their aircraft but under other airlines' titles, such as Flybe with their Twin Otters, and until 2008 LoganAir was an official franchisee of British Airways. Today, however, the airline is very much independent, as all of the LoganAir flights operating today are officially LoganAir flights and no one else's. But after an hour of cruising, we began our descent into Edinburgh, and today we'll be landing using runway 06. Overall, I was very impressed with LoganAir's performance on today's flight. They didn't offer much in the way of service, but they did exactly what they said they would do and offer a quick flight to Edinburgh. For south to north service in the UK, you generally have 3 options. Full service airlines like British Airways operating out of London Heathrow, low cost airlines like EasyJet operating out of London Gatwick, and then these regional airlines like LoganAir operating out of Southampton. Of course you're going to get better service on British Airways up to Edinburgh, but then you have to drive over an hour up to Heathrow and make your way through the maze of Terminal 5. Then the low-cost airlines are cheap, but you still have to deal with the travel time up to Gatwick, and the service isn't that great, which is why they're aimed at family trips on a budget. Then the regional services allow for quick, reliable service up to Scotland, and that's the great thing about these airlines. From door to door, it took me 3 hours to get to Scotland, when compared to the 5 or 6 hours it would take if you flew from Heathrow or Gatwick. And that's exactly where these airlines shine, not with the price or the excellent service, but the convenience. This was my first time flying LoganAir, and I would be happy to fly them again in the future. But apart from that, that concludes my LoganAir ERJ-145 experience from Southampton to Edinburgh. Stay tuned for another video this time next week on another new airline to the channel. But again, I want to thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.